How to be excellent. Now is how to. Yes. As I mentioned, without a vision or goal, there is no need to be excellent. Then we just relax at home. We just sleep. We just eat. Why do we need to be excellent? Yeah. We want to be excellent because we want to be the best. We want to attract people. We want to glorify God. We want to become better. And if the goal is not valuable, we won't be motivated to achieve it. So we must love our goal. We must be able to convince us that, oh, that goal is so good. Otherwise, we're not going to do it because it's difficult. People at Babel, no one told them to build the tower, but they said, we want to make our name great. That is their vision. Their vision is to make their name great. So in order to make their name great, they just built this high tower. Last year, I was in Central America and visited a few countries. And one of the countries that I visited is Guatemala. And then I went to see the pyramid. And I was wondering, wow, how could people from centuries ago build such thing? And for what reason? For what reason you have to build it so great? The tour guide said, to amaze their enemies. Like when their enemies came to their city and see, wow, these are powerful people, then I would dare not touch them, dare not fight them. Maybe it's the same sentiment for the people of Babel. They want to make that other nations know how great they are. Yeah, that's why they built the tall tower.
I think they wanted to reach God.
To reach the sky, yes. And to make their name great as well. Yeah. What is that?
Water.
Yeah, I know water, but what happened with water?
I just do not taking water.
Okay. And I want to add one more thing, yeah? Our vision must comply with God's vision. If it is just your vision, then you just use God's name to make your name great. You know what I mean? Yeah, because you just want to become like the biggest church in your town, the biggest church in your country, the richest church, church with most converts in your country, but make sure that your vision complies with God's vision as well. That God really wants you to do that. I mean, not every church can be the biggest church, right? If every church would like to be the biggest, then which church will be the biggest? No one can be the biggest. I mean, we should dream big, we should think big, but our plan, our thought should comply, should correspond, should be in line with what God wants for ourselves as well. We might want to do something so great, but if God say, I don't want you to do it, then we shouldn't be so sad. Like just now we talked about David. He would like to build a great temple for God, but God said, no, it's not for you to do it. That's it. Then he said, okay, that's all right. Yeah, if I don't do it, then my son will do it. Yes. 2, equip ourselves adequately. It's good to work hard, but it's better to work hard and work smart. Not just work hard, but work smart, meaning think as well. So see, we come back to the 3 parts. Do not just use your hand to work hard, but train your mind, your head. Work smart as well, think. Doing is good, but it's not good enough. We need to know how to do it well. 2, for those of you who cook, after you use the same knife maybe for 5 years, and then you cannot cut, even vegetable anymore, let alone a meat. What are you gonna do?
Sharpen again.
Yeah, you sharpen it, right? You do not say to yourself, let's not give up. Let's work hard.
We have
it's good to work hard, but sometimes you don't need to work hard. You don't need to work that hard. Yeah, save your energy to work hard for other things.
Yes.
Not to cut because you have a blunt knife. Yeah, so working smart is like sharpening the knife. Yeah, work smart. So learn. Yeah. So 2.1 to gain knowledge. Yeah, that's when you read books. That's when you ask people. I really enjoy my fellowship with Pastor Steve, Pastor Aini. They will ask me questions like, Pastor, if this is the situation, have you ever dealt with this kind of person? What are you gonna do? Yeah. So this is to gain knowledge. Yeah. And please do not just read books on the topics that you're good already. That is human nature. We are so good with music, but we only read books about music. We are so good at cooking already. We still collect cookbooks. Why don't you learn something that you're not good at and you need to be good? Right. It's harder to learn something that you're not good because whenever you learn, you remind yourself that you're not good. And you don't feel good about remembering how not good you are. You know what I mean, right? But doing the same thing that you're good at, you feel good because people come and praise you. Oh, you're so good. Yeah. But you have to move forward to do things that you have never done before. Yeah. If you are not good with leading, read books about leadership. If you're so humble already, do not just read book about humility. How much more you want to be humble?
7
You're so humble already. So be more proactive, be more aggressive. You know what I mean, right? Oh, I don't want to read because I want to be humble. How humble are you? You're so humble already. Yeah. So being a good leader doesn't mean you're not humble. Doesn't necessarily mean you're not humble. Okay, sometimes some leaders are not humble, but it doesn't mean that you're not humble if you lead. Even if you lead strongly, as a good leader, you have to lead strongly as well. Yeah, so you have to gain knowledge. You have to know what to do. Do not just do it, but how to do it. You need to learn how to do it. Yeah, perhaps some of you are going to be a preacher one day. Then you learn how am I going to preach? Yeah, you're going to play music. How am I going to play music? You're going to dance. How am I going to dance? Do not just say, yeah, I want to dance. Wow, that's what I dream for. And then you just show up on the stage on that day. And you do not even know what beats are, what rhythm is. Okay, so learn. You need to know. You need to have the knowledge. Moses, before Israel conquered Canaan, he sent spies, 12 spies, to learn about the land they want to conquer. They do not just step into the land by faith. I mean, faith is faith, but it's good to know as well what you're doing. So, know what you do, know what you say. Okay? Paul could reach out to the Greek, very brainy people because he's very educated. So, if you want to reach out to different clients, you need to learn. If you want to reach out to Norwegians, ask the Norwegians how or what Norwegians think. 2.2 to obtain skills. How to obtain skills? Then you observe. Then you ask people who are good at it. Can I come and learn from you? The best way to learn how to cook is to just stand next to the one who is good at cooking. I mean, it's also not bad to read books, but it's easier to just stand next to the person. You get inspired by the person. You have to smell. When you read cook books, there are no smell. You only smell the paper and the color, the print. Yeah. But when you stand next to, wow, I want to know how to make adobo smell so nice. Because my adobo doesn't smell like this.
It's
Right.
true.
Yeah. So that is how you do training. Yeah. How are you gonna do swimming? Can you just read books? I want to train so that one day I can join the Olympic. So how? I just read books. And then when Olympic comes, then I just go and jump into water. Not only you will be defeated, but you will drown. So for the skills, you have to do it. Keep doing. You know, I know that there are certain people on earth who got aptitude, meanings they don't need to learn. They just pick the guitar and just strum, and that's it. They got natural gift, but they are minority. Most of us are not like that. You have to practice. And if you do it over and over and over, you will become better. Yeah. Just now I talked to you that I got a house, a baby house. So I'm part-time cleaning my own house. The first time I cleaned my house after the first guest, oh my goodness. Why it takes so much time? Over and over, I look at my watch, it's 4 hours already. I haven't finished cleaning my house yet. And now I finish it like 3 hours, 2 hours, sometimes if I'm so lazy, 1.5 hours. If I see some dust, just put it under the carpet. Yeah, I will vacuum it next time. Yeah, guests just come for one night, they're not gonna check every spot, it's alright. I have more techniques. Because you got that skill. When you do it over and over and over, you do better. You know, every year when you look at the Olympic record, you think this is the world record. How can human run, this distance within like 10 seconds? How is it humanly possible? And then the next 4 years, another guy run like, 1 second less. Wow. You never know, because skill is something when you repeat doing it, you do it better, faster, nicer. Yeah. So if you are so scared of preaching and you say, no, I don't want to preach again, I don't want to preach too often, so put me 6 months after this, I tell you, you will be scared again. If it is 6 months after this. But if you preach like every month, you will be less scared. Do you know what I mean, right? Because you're more familiar with it. Then you are less scared. You overcome it faster. Yeah. You can ask those who get driving license and then never drive for a few years after they get the driving license. They feel like, am I able to drive? You almost have to go to the lesson again. But if you drive every day, you will get over the fear very fast.
You will get that.
Agree? Yes. Okay. Then it's not enough to have theory. We need to translate into action because ministry is something you need to do. Number 3, be in right environments and have right associates. If you are very active, but then you move to an environment where everyone is so relaxed, let me tell you, after a while, you will be like that. If you are very passive, but you're put in an environment where everyone is active, you will be active. It's like, you put hot stuff in the freezer, it's gonna be frozen. You put the frozen stuff in the oven, after a while it will be heated. You will adapt to your environment. Many of us, we are Asians in our country, we don't care whether it's red, you know, the traffic light, whether it's red, whether it's yellow, whether it's green. We are all color blinded in Asia. Whatever light it is green. Red is green, yellow is green, and green is very green. Our sight becomes normal when we come to Europe. Because everyone follow the rules. Right? Everyone just follow the rules and okay, we have to follow the rules. You are like your environment. We are adaptable. Yes. So, if you want to excel, associate with people who are excellent. You will be like them. Yeah, so right environment and right associates. Yeah? You know, we are all very, you know, there are Chinese in many countries in the world. Chinese in China, Chinese in Thailand, Chinese in Malaysia, Chinese in Singapore, Chinese in Taiwan.
Chinese in Philippines,
Chinese in Philippines. But you cannot compare Chinese with Chinese in Singapore when it comes to efficiency. Even when you are in primary school, you have to compete already. I think maybe in like nursery, you have to compete with other kids already. That's the environment. That is really, really environment. I mean, you look at the genetic makeup. You know, Chinese, but we're different because we adapt to the environment. So in our church, if we want to make people on fire, we have to think about the atmosphere. Atmosphere is important, you know. If you want people to be excited about God, it's good to help individual to excited with God, but it's good to build some atmosphere as well. Like for example, in the church, in the camp, you know, in some churches in Singapore, they train people to clap their hands for the sake of new people, to create an atmosphere of you know, excitement when you hear the preaching. Yeah. Amen. Yeah, the amen thing. Yeah. I mean, if it helps, why don't you change? If it helps. If it doesn't help, then you don't need to do. Environment helps, you know. Helps. Yeah. You go for dinner. Some of us like bright lights. Some of us only like candle. I mean, when you go, you eat. It's about food, right? Why you care about light? Because it's atmosphere. And then you go to Japan. Wow, they decorate the food so nice that you ask yourself, is it edible? You are so afraid to put, you know, the spoon into it because it is so beautiful. Because it gives you some feeling. Yeah. And then you look at the French food, you feel like, I pay so much, you know, 400 crowns. Why you serve me just one dot? you know, and then just one chunk of beef with a trail of berry sauce. I paid 40 pounds. If I go and buy it from Rima, you know, Tucson, I can buy like so many chunks. It's about atmosphere. People pay for atmosphere. Pay for taste. You know, wine. I don't drink wine, but people say that you have to smell it first. You know, you swirl it, you smell it before you drink it. They say, it's sweet, it's dry. To me, it tastes weird. All wine tastes weird. Or alcohol. Yeah, atmosphere is very important. Some of us are more practical, you know. So that's why we don't think too much about atmosphere, but it helps. It helps. Lastly, I want to spare some time for Q&A, okay, and for discussion if we have discussion. Imitate people of excellence. Is it no, not lastly. It's number 4. Imitate people of excellence. Yeah. Look for a role model. Now I would like you to write down. Think about your ministry of passion. Something that you're so passionate about. Like for example, in the past I was so passionate about worship leading. Not so much now. I love it sometimes at the prayer meeting I do it. Yeah, for leaders. In those days I really got a role model. Yeah, the worship leader of Pro Bangkok. Wow, really look up to him. Now I'm a preacher, I'm more preacher. Then I got another role model. He's a preacher in America. He preaches expository, and I really like the way he preaches. And I want to learn from him. So think about your ministry, something that you love to do. And do you have any role model? Write down the name. Someone you would like to learn from. You would like to not really copy everything like what I mentioned. You have to be you. If you're serious, more serious, then look for a role model that is more serious. If you are, you know, there are some preachers who are so good with speaking, public speaking. They don't have to write down the notes, you know, walk around so natural. I am not like that. If I want to be that person, you know, I would say, this Sunday, I'm not going to come back with a note. Not going to come on the stage with a note. Just 1 line, 2 lines, that's it. Let me tell you, after 10 minutes, I don't know already what I'm going to say. I get lost. So you need to know your strength. Those people, they have very good memory. I don't have very good memory, so at least I have to write down, you know, a few points. Okay. Have you done that? You write down the ministry and your role model, okay? Yeah, get inspired by them. Yeah, get inspired by them. Learn from them. Actually, Jesus, he challenged his disciples many times. John 13, 14 to 15. If I then, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also ought to wash one another's feet. So he doesn't show how to wash feet. He shows how to be humble. Yeah. Verse 34, a new commandment I give to you, that you love one another just as I have loved you. You also are to love one another. Paul challenged his people, yeah, be imitators of me as I am of Christ. Can you challenge people to imitate you and say, imitate me just like I imitate Christ? Yeah. You know, as a leader, I really like one of the pastors in the UK. Actually, I mentioned about him so many times. And when I say I went to his conference and I learned about how to interview, also it is his conference. Nicky Campbell, he's the pastor of the church where Alpha Course is from. You heard about Alpha Course, very famous around the world. Alpha Course, an evangelistic course. And because when I look at leaders around the world, I would say most of them are like the one who are shouting, you know, that's not my personality. I hardly come across any powerful leader who are like shy, who are like quiet, and I was shy, was quiet, not anymore now, but I was like that. And then I found Nicky Campbell, and wow, I think he's very powerful. He really leads, very visionary. But when you see him on the stage, if they don't introduce him as a leader, you thought he's a chairperson. I mean, he doesn't have that, you know, charisma, but very strong in leadership and he doesn't have to shout, he doesn't have to do it like, pushing people. And I thought, wow, that is something new to me, that you can be a very good leader even if you're shy. Actually, he is a shy person, he said on the stage. He even said that, very, very, very honest, he said on the stage that I'm a very shy person. I'm very shy to speak to strangers. So it's very difficult for me to go on the street and evangelize. That's why I came up with Alpha Course. That's what he said. I came up with Alpha Course to reach out. And Alpha Course brought so many British to Christ. Brought so many British to Christ. And it really, how to say, it's really relevant to British culture, I would say. Yeah. And there were testimonies from many European churches, and so even Americans, big pastors came and say they did it with their churches and it is fruitful as well. So I really admire him. Yeah, Nicky Campbell. Number 5, I think this is the last one. Yeah, improve ourselves continuously. The problem that I find out, I used to ask my people, what would you like to improve on? And they don't know. So, let me tell you one of the reasons why we don't make progress is because we don't realize what we are not good at. You don't realize we are not good at. Yeah. We should, when they say what we should improve on, you should start with something that you're doing now, not something that you want to do, because you cannot improve something that you haven't tried yet, right? When we say improve, I mean improve what we have done now. Improve ourselves continuously. Yeah. If you want to excel, because excel is not a jump from 0 to 10, it's 0 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3. So you improve yourself all the time. If you want to improve yourself, number 1, you need to examine yourselves. And many people don't want to do it because who wants to know our weaknesses? Who wants to acknowledge our weaknesses? We want to know our successes. We don't want to know our failures. But if you want to make a progress, if you want to excel, you have to examine. And when you examine, do not just think about all the good things. It's good to think about the good things, otherwise you'll be depressed. After a few evaluations, oh, I'm really rubbish. There's nothing good in me at all. so I want to give up. It's good to give thanks to God, for the good things that He has put inside of us. But the point is, if you're good already, if you're really good already, then there's no room to change, right? Even if you're good, you can do even better. Yes. So so the first reason why people don't examine is because they cannot take it. They feel bad when they don't. Secondly, they don't have time. Or they don't set aside time. I really admire Madrid. Yeah. After every service, they have this evaluation. And the church is still very small. I mean, what can you evaluate that much when you're small? But that is the spirit of excellence. Yeah. And I remember months ago when I was there was evaluation. And this time again, evaluation. And I told them, evaluate my preaching as well. Is it too long? Is it relevant? I'm fine. Yeah, do not skip. Evaluate everything, prayer, and they give them ideas of what to do. So examine ourselves. Let me give you suggestion. Like for example, maybe once a week, you set aside half an hour. If you're free, the only day you're free is Saturday, then do it on Saturday. Evaluate. Just go for a walk. Do something that you like, It can be shopping, walking, but something that will free your mind. that you don't think about doing repeatedly, but reflect, yeah, and be honest about yourself. Yeah. 5.2, listen to feedback. Oh, this is even more scary for many people. Yeah, feedback.
The more scariest.
Yes. You know what? Feedback doesn't mean you are bad. Feedback means you have room to improve. And we all can improve. So, be thankful if people give you feedback. Yeah. And do not defend yourself. Because they are not attacking you. When people give you feedback, don't take it personally. They're not saying that you're bad. They're not saying that you didn't make any effort to prepare. Like for example, if they would say, your Bible sharing in your life groups, they're not saying that you didn't prepare. They just say that there is something you can do better. You know what I mean, right? Don't defend and say, when they feedback you, they say, you don't know how many hours I have prepared. You don't know how much effort. You don't know how shy I am. Okay?
Defending.
Yeah, this is defending. They're not blaming you or anything, Just take it objectively. Yeah. And if what they say is 10% right, then take the 10%. Do not throw away everything. There is a saying in English, don't throw baby with the bathtub. You know what it means? You bathe the baby and you put it in the bathtub, right? The small bathtub. And then after you clean the baby, the water is dirty. You don't throw the baby with the water, with the water, with the dirty water. You just keep the baby and you throw the water. You know what I mean? So when people give you feedback, you keep the baby, what is good. You don't throw everything, good and bad, just throw everything. Yeah? Yeah. So listen to feedback. Sometimes it's painful, it's alright. Don't take it personally because people don't attack you. Yeah. I like all the Proverbs verses. It's really amazing. Yeah. Let the wiser hear and increase in learning. You see, even if you're wise, you can still increase your learning. Wise man is not black and white. It's not like today you're not wise, tomorrow you're totally wise. It's not like that. We can become wiser and wiser and wiser. As you get older, hopefully you get wiser. Yeah. And the one who understands obtain guidance. Even though you understand already, you can still receive guidance.
Amen.
Yeah. Proverbs 9:9, give instruction to a wise man, and he will be still wiser. Teach a righteous man, and he will increase in learning. Similar. See, teach those who are wise. Perhaps they became wise because they learned a lot in the past, and they could be even wiser. Proverbs 11:14, where there is no guidance, people falls. But in an abundance of counselors, see, counselors ask people for advice. Yeah, there is safety, especially if you're about to do something that is new, you're inexperienced, and you ask people. Yes. In our church, in Hope Leads, we register as a charity, but before that, we ask many people because we're not experienced in this. It's about law, legal stuff. We ask people who are good in it. Proverbs 12:15, the way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but a wise man listens to advice. You know what? Actually, there are certain areas that we are wise, and certain areas that we are not wise. It's not like when you're wise about everything.
Yes.
If one day I'm gonna marry, I'm gonna ask all of you. It's not like, because I'm pastor, automatically I'm wise about everything about marriage and about child, rearing as well. No. maybe I'm wiser in preaching, I'm wiser in leading, but I'm not as wise in the area of finance. Maybe I'm not as wise in the area of, bringing up kids. Then I need your help, right? So that's why it's good to learn from one another, to ask one another. I like Ecclesiastes 4:13. I really like it. It's really sharp, and I really like what Solomon says. Better was a poor and wise youth than an old and foolish king who no longer knew how to take advice. You know why? Because you are a king now. Who is gonna advise you? No one dares to advise you. So it's better to be a poor and wise youth because you're still young, you still listen. So I have to take heed to this because me as a leader, how many people would come and advise me? Because they all assume that, oh, he's the pastor, he's sitting up there, he must know everything. No. I told my guys so many times in my church, my church is full of, not just full, they are all Filipinos. I'm the only non-Filipino in the church. So if I would give you any advice that is not relevant to Filipino, you need to tell me. I might have wisdom like in terms of principle, but in terms of how to make it relevant to Filipinos, maybe I don't know. Then you need to tell me. Don't say, oh, because he's pastor, we cannot touch him. So now we got like more and more nationalities. In the future, we might have Indians, we might have, black people. Then we would like to hear from them as well, what they say. Yeah, learn from one another. And one thing, because all of us are leaders, we have to keep ourselves humble all the time. No matter how high we become a leader. And we have to be reminded that as we go higher, there will be less people who will advise us. So if there is someone who can advise us, that is treasure. That is treasure. For those of us who are still young in our ministry, when there are many people advise us, don't complain. How come there are so many people who would come and give me suggestion? Wait until you go higher. Then you will know that you want to seek advice. There are not so many people who can advise you because they don't experience what they experience. Yeah. And lastly, number 3, compete with ourselves. Learn to break our own record. Yeah, learn to break our own record. That's how you excel.
Amen.
Yeah, like I mentioned just now, I clean my house. That's what I want to excel as well. I break my record. Okay, 4 hours, now 3 hours, now 2 hours. Let's see. Yeah. How short it could be one day by cleaning time. Yes. So this is how we learn to compete with one another. I compete with ourselves. Paul says in 1 Corinthians 9:24-25, last verse, and then we'll have Q&A. Do you not know that in a race all the runners run, but only one receives the prize? So run that you may obtain it. Every athlete exercises self-control in all things. They do it to receive a perishable wreath, but we an imperishable. Meaning you compete with yourself all the time. Even in your ministry, you want to do better. Yeah, you want to be better, whatever, better musician, better teacher, better preacher, better kids teacher, better everything, better. Yeah. Okay, question. Question. I know pastors have questions, but if he asks first, then everyone will think, oh, my question is like pastor. So I let everyone ask the question first. Oh, you want pastor to kick off?
Stola. I have asked the very strong question.
Already? Yes. Any other question, please? Otherwise, we're gonna do the question. I don't know how much time we have because some of us might have to leave.
I think how can we, of course we learned this already about excellence. How can we influence also our assistant? For example, maybe some of
Yeah.
here don't have the assistant leader here.
Yeah.
So how can we influence them to be excellent as well?
Yeah.
What we-
You know what? We cannot how to say transform everyone, but there will be a few people who get inspired by you. So if you keep that standard higher, I believe some people would be inspired by you. So you start with the inspiration, and then the process will come in. Like you bring them with you when you go, you serve. Like next time when Pastor Steve would go to different places like Madrid, I'm sure that he will bring someone that people can learn from him as well. So that is what you can do. Teaching is something you can do and build the atmosphere. Atmosphere, like for example, atmosphere should be something that people can see, people can feel, people can touch, like something like decoration. You don't have to do it every Sunday, but like in your special event, you do it so well. Then you send already a signal to people that in our church we want to do it well. We want to excel in everything that we do. These are some of the things that we can do. And all of us here as leaders, we have to show this is universal principle. We have to set a good example, and some of our people will follow us. Yeah, and do not let go. If you want to bring a standard very high, do not let go. Like if they do not do it diligently, you ask them to redo it. Of course, you cannot force them, but you can encourage some of them who are willing to to learn. That's what I did with my team. I don't let go. Yeah. If you don't do it right, you don't do it well, go back, redo it, then bring it back to me. Yeah. Of course, you don't do it until they get exhausted. Yeah. You just do it to teach them that we have to cultivate this habit. I mean, the outcome might not look perfect. It's all right, but at least the attitude must be there. Like we do the best for God. Yes.
Any more question?
Yes.
Pastor, what would you advise us, because we are now want to practice excellence
Yeah.
in the church?
Yeah.
But how can you, what can we do to maintain this, hard attitude that
Yeah.
not only on the first month of the year?
Yeah. Yeah.
What can we do?
I would ask you to maybe pick some of the things that you want to excel, because to be honest, for those who never practice it, like it's very exhausting to excel. And if you want to excel everything at the same time, like life group, mentoring, evangelism, church service, it is exhausting.
Yes.
Just pick maybe one or two and keep doing it until it becomes habits. If it becomes habits, it's habits
It's
already.
good enough.
It's a tradition already.
Amen.
Yeah, and then you can move on, add more. Yeah, and don't let go. Meaning, if people don't do it, you cannot let them go. They still have to do it. I think my mom trained me. I don't know whether she trained me or like purposely. I think maybe it's just her nature. When I was very young, like I think maybe 5 or 6, yeah, she just put me to clean the house. Yeah, clean her bedroom, and we have to bring in the bucket of water. You know, actually we got helper in the house, but why do we need to do? I think she just trained us. And then okay, wipe, you know, wipe the table, blah blah blah, and she will inspect. You see, still dusty, do it again. Yeah, that's how she trained me when I was young. I think I got it since young to be perfectionist. Yeah. And so she wouldn't let go whether I like it or not. You don't do it well. You don't put your heart to it. Do it again. Yeah. Of course, you have to know. You have to need to have wisdom because we cannot force our people. What is gonna say?
Is there a difference with the word perfectionist and excellence?
Yeah. As I mentioned, perfectionist is normally is about the format, but excellence you measure it against purpose. If the purpose is fulfilled, to me that is excellence already. And the measurement, the excellence is relative, meaning if you ask kids to clean the table, you cannot compare it with adults who clean the table. But if they have done their best already, it has reached that limit at that age, that is excellence. That is not perfection, but that is excellence. So excellence is relative. Yes, relative. Perfection is just one standard. Yeah. Yeah. So today we talk about excellence and we don't talk about perfection.
Yes.
Yeah. If sorry,
That is okay.
any more question?
I don't know.
If not, then can you just share with the person what you learned today? I mean, the takeaway, and what really stuck in your mind that you want to take away, you want to take back. Yeah. Just share with the person on the table.
Sa time na konting Should I pray? Let's pray. Before I pass the microphone to Pastor. Dear Lord, we want to give thanks to you, Lord, that you are our perfect Father. And Lord, you always excel in everything you do.
Lord, I pray that you would give us a heart to excel at everything we do. Lord, because after all, we are your reflection and we are your representative. We want people to see you in us, through us, Father. That when we excel, people will praise you. Lord, I pray that you will help us to be courageous. You will help us to be bold, to be different, to explore, to step into the unknown territory. Lord, Father, even to do something new that we have never done before, Father, and you will teach us. Lord, I pray that you will give us wisdom. We don't want to do things just because we want it to look new, Father, but we want to solve the problem, we want to solve the issue, we want to move on, we want to do better. Lord, and as a church, I pray that you will help us to build the culture, Lord Father, of excellence. That we do not just do things because we do. We do not just do things because we need to work hard, but we want to work smart as well. Give us wisdom, give us ideas, and give us creativity. Lord, bless us. Bless all the leadership here. Lord Father, bless Pastor Steve, bless Pastor Ivy, bless all of us together. We want to give thanks in Jesus' name. Amen.